What's your revenue goal this year? If it's a round number like $1 million, $2 million, $750,000, where did that number come from? Because for most owners, the honest answer is nowhere. They just kind of guess. They're like, I want to do $1 million. I want to do $2 million. I want to do a nice round number rounded up from last year. Or they pick something that sounds impressive. But maybe they heard someone at a networking event say, hey, we're doing $1 million, and thought, yep, that sounds right. I want to do that number. And a goal with no math behind it is a wish. And wishes don't pay your mortgage. They don't pay the bills of the business. They don't make you a millionaire. So today I'm going to show you how to reverse engineer your revenue target from the life you actually want to live with real numbers, not just round guesses where you say million. We're going to get down to the exact dollars. My name is Derek. I'm the founder of Home Coach. We help home service business owners build profitable businesses that can be run by their team. Now, if you want to stop guessing in your business and start planning with real numbers, subscribe, because we put out videos all the time and give away all the best formulas. I sit down with owners all the time and ask, what's your revenue goal, right? We always start with numbers. No matter what, we start with the data in a business because that is the language of your business. And I always get a round number every time, 750, a million, 1.5 million. Then I ask, what's your profit goal? And often there's just a blank stare, right? But revenue is a vanity metric. Like the number on the top line of your P&L is not what feeds your family. The number on the bottom line does, profit, but we never lead with profit. We always lead with this arbitrary revenue number. And I've met owners doing $500,000 a year who take home more than owners doing $2.5 million a year. And the difference is not the volume. Obviously, it's not the volume. The difference is the owner doing 500,000, they know their numbers. They built a business that works. The one doing 1.5 or 2.5 has more trucks, more payroll, more headaches, and take home less because they scaled chaotically. So when someone tells me their goal is to hit $1 million, my first question is, what do you actually want to take home? Because that's the number we need to plan around. Everything else works backwards from there. I'm going to walk you through exactly how we do this with every single client. It takes about 10 minutes. It's super easy. There's a calculator. It's going to change how you think about your business. So we want to start at the end. What do you want to take home this year? And this is after the cost to run your business, after taxes, after everything. The number that hits your personal bank account. So let's just say for you, it's $150,000. That's your owner's pay target. Now, what's your net profit margin, right? If you don't know that, that's the first problem. For most home service business owners, somewhere around 20 to 30% is really good, depending on the industry. And if you're below 10, we have bigger things we need to fix, so call us. But let's just use 18% for this example, right? So we want $150,000 at 18%. What we're gonna do is we're gonna divide that 150 by 18%. And what's that gonna give us? Pull out your calculator, do the math. It's gonna give us $833,000 and 333. We'll write it all out. So this is the revenue target, but watch what happens when you change the margin, right? The same 150,000 right here. But let's say that you fix your pricing, you tighten your overhead, you push your margin to 25%. Divide that 150 by 25%, you get $600,000. It's a massive difference. 600 versus 833,000. Are you kidding me? That's completely different business. That's less crews, less overhead, less stress. Same take home, maybe more, but you're dealing with way less chaos. Now, most owners try to grow their way to profit. They think, I'll just add another truck, I'll add another team, I'll add another service, I'll add this. And if I just land that big contract, I'm going to increase my profit margin. But if your margin is broken, like adding revenue just adds more broken revenue. Like scaling a business that leaks money doesn't fix the leak. It just makes the leak more faster. Like fix your margin first, then the revenue target gets a lot more reasonable because you know what you're getting to. You can get there more efficiently. Now, what I just showed you here on this iPad is a super simplified version of what we walk through in the Profit Path workshop. In this workshop, we build this whole thing out as a tool. All the formulas, calculations, the seasonality adjustments, everything is done and ready for you. You just plug in your numbers and not even that many numbers, and it does the math for you automatically. So there's no spreadsheet guessing. There's no napkin math. Like I'm giving you the concept here so you can start thinking about the same. You can take this and do this. It will help you. But if you want the tool that does the actual heavy lifting for you, the Profit Path workshop is a steal at $47. If it doesn't change your business, we'll refund you. There's no strings attached. The link is in the description. Now let's take the annual number and let's break it down into pieces that we can actually manage. Because most people, that's as far as they go for the year. They'll plan like their annual planning is, I want to do $1 million. And then they just go to work. It's like, cool. Okay, how are we gonna do $1 million? Like, let's take the number. Let's say we're gonna do the $600,000, right? So This is the number we're going to look for. Now, if you divide that by 12, what do you get? You're going to get $50,000 a month. So let's look at it like this chart right here. So if we look at it throughout the year, let's just say we have 600,000 divided by 12. It's going to give us 50,000 a month. Okay, so now you know I need to make 50,000 a month. So now let's divide that number by the weeks we work. Let's just say that's divided by 48, right? We're going to go this way. Divide by 48, and to give yourself, let's say you give yourself 4 weeks off. You probably don't do that, but you absolutely should. So that's about 12,500 a week that your company needs to make. And on average, so let's just take that 12,500. On average, if your average job is 2,500, then how many of those jobs do you need, right? You need 5 jobs. But let's say your average job is 5,000. You need 2.5 jobs to hit your weekly goal that's going to keep you on track for your monthly goal, that's going to help you to hit your annual goal, which allows you to hit your target profit margin for the year that you want to take home in your pocket, right? So we get way... This is the most basic version I could probably think of. Like, we get way nerdier in the Profit Path Workshop to help you identify exactly how many leads you need to get, how many estimates you need to give, how many jobs you need to schedule, how many jobs you need to do of every service type that you do to hit that profit goal, right? Super nerdy, maths at the highest level. But now you know exactly how many jobs per week to fund the life that you want. You're not guessing anymore. You're not saying, I want to make $1 million. We're saying, okay, now I know I need 2.5 or 5 or whatever this number is. Do the math, divide, right? I need 5 jobs a week to hit my annual profit goal. And when you know the number, you can manage the number, right? You can look at your pipeline on Monday morning and know, are we on track or behind with the number of leads that we need to get to ensure that we have 5 jobs this week and next week and the week after? You can do that before the week even starts. And that's a completely different feeling than checking your bank account on Friday and just hoping that there's enough in there for payroll. I know you've done it. We've all done it. That's part of being a business owner, but there is a better way. Now, here's where most planning falls apart, right? Like, home service revenue is not flat. You're probably looking at this and be like, I don't do 50 grand a month. If you're doing 600 a year, you don't do 50 grand a month, right? Like, you don't do that like clockwork. If you're in landscaping, roofing, exterior work, especially depending on the client, you probably do 60% of your revenue between like April and September. And the other 6 months, you're running at a fraction of that. And so a flat monthly target is a lie. So this was assuming that our revenue is going to be flat just like this. Like, that's not going to happen. Our revenue is actually going to be more like this, where January and April is probably pretty low, or January to April, and then it's going to pick up into July. It's going to peak. We're going to crush it, and then it's going to go back down. It's going to do this. That's a more accurate graph for what your seasonality looks like. So we have to map your revenue to your actual seasonality. So I walk clients through this with a really simple spreadsheet. Let me show you what it looks like. So what we do is we pull as many years of data as possible. You can see here I have room for the last 5 years. You're going to take that annual target number and you're going to allocate it by month based on what your business has actually done historically by month seasonally, right? Like, this is your template. You can see here that this business, if you scroll down, they have all of their months in here, and you can see what percentage of their annual revenue that is per month. So if you go down here, you can see exactly what this business does per month, right? Like May, June, July, August, way bigger months than December and January. So it makes us a lot smarter when we can forecast based on what we've actually done and believe we will do in the future. Because these big months in the middle, like these have to cover your overhead for the slow months oftentimes, like plus your profit target, plus the cash reserve that gets you through the slow months of January and February without sweating on your payroll, depending on where you are. Maybe your business isn't as seasonal, but you're funding December with revenue from June. And you just don't know it yet. Like, once you see it on paper, you stop wondering why you feel broke every winter, but you feel like a king every June. Even though you had that great summer, it doesn't always translate unless you have a way to hold it, right? The money came in and left because there was no plan around it. So if you do nothing else from this video, pull your monthly revenue for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years and look at the pattern. Calculate it out. Like, I guarantee you it's more lopsided than you even think. So again, this is all part of the Profit Path Workshop. That sheet I just showed you, that is the seasonality calculator of that tool. We have the seasonality calculator, we have target margins, we have monthly breakdowns. We'll break this down by percentage per month, per service that you need to do. So we know we need to do X number of, if you're a landscaping business, we need to do X number of installs in lawns mowed and irrigation installs, like whatever that is, we can break that down by month, by service, by seasonality percentages based on your seasonality. Now, what I'm showing you here on the iPad, like this is the thinking behind it. The workshop gives you the finished version that does all of this automatically. You probably have seen other YouTube videos, you've seen other businesses, you have a lot of information out there, right? Like information without implementation's nothing, like, right? It's just a hope and a dream. So you've got your annual target now. You've broken it into your monthly targets that match your seasonality, right? So now the discipline is pretty simple. It's like once a month, spend 15 minutes comparing your actual results to the plan. We call this goal versus actual. I mean, honestly, that's it, like 15 minutes. Like that's going to be the most important 15 minutes that you spend in your business that almost nobody takes the time to do, to analyze. It's always too busy. Like, oh, I got things to do. Things are on fire. I got to deal with people. I got to deal with crews. I got jobs to schedule. Like, dudes, slow down. Get out of working in the business and work on the business. There is no better thing for you to do than understand the numbers of your business at a high level so that you can increase your margin, right? Like, look at this. Let's go back. What do you want? Do you want to make $833,000 or do you want to take 15 minutes a month and be smarter in your business, tighten up your OPEX and get to $600,000 a year? But most business owners don't even look at their numbers till tax season. They put everything together. Their accountant tells them in February what happened last year, like a year ago, over a year ago. And by then, I was like, it's 12 months too late to do anything about it. I want you to know by the 15th of every single month how last month went. What was your revenue? What was your revenue goal? And how did you perform against that? What was our expense goal? Like, what did we budget? What were our actual expenses? What was our profit goal? What did we actually do? Like those three numbers alone are massive. That's a profit and loss statement. Like review your profit and loss statement against your goals. And if you're on track, great. Guess what? Keep going, keep getting better. And if you're behind, you got 30 days to course correct instead of 12 months of wondering why things feel tight the next year. Like you can do all of this in QuickBooks, in a spreadsheet. You can do it on an iPad. You can do it on a napkin. Like the tool doesn't matter. The habit matters. And what I'm hoping to instill in you is become an expert in the language of your business, which is the numbers. Start here, right? One of my clients started doing this monthly review. And the first month he found out that one of his 3 main services was losing money. It's a tale as old as time. I probably mentioned that in every single YouTube video and most of my short form content that I talk about when I talk about numbers. Like it happens more often than you thought. And if you think it doesn't apply to me, guess what? I bet you're getting your ass kicked on one of your services. But he'd been running those jobs all year, assuming that they were profitable because revenue was coming in, right? Revenue is coming in, but the profit was going out. And he didn't realize it because the other services were hiding it. So he cut that service, focused his crews on the 2 that were actually making a ton of money. And guess what? His take home went up like fairly significantly within probably 2 months. And it was the exact same team. It was fewer jobs. And it was way more profit. And that came from like 15 minutes of calculator. We probably spent more time than that, but that can happen for you with 15 minutes with a calculator. Not a new truck. It's not a new hire. It's not more crews. It's a freaking calculator. Like do the math. And every month that you wait to do this, every month without a revenue plan is a month that decisions are made by default instead of by design, right? You're pricing jobs without knowing your margin. You're hiring without knowing if you can actually afford that person or what revenue that person can earn for you to make that a return on an investment. Like you're saying yes to work into things without even knowing if it's going to be profitable for you. Most business owners are going to tell themselves, and I know you've said this, you're going to say, I'm going to get to planning when things slow down. When the things slow down, but things don't slow down. Like even if they did, the best time to build a plan is when you're in the thick of it, because the longer you wait is you're losing money in this season until you make those decisions. Like that's when the decisions actually cost you the most. So if you're in the middle of your busy season right now, like I'm filming this, it's June 26th. Like it's the middle of the busy season for a lot of home service business owners, but this is exactly when you need to know your numbers, because right now is when you're making or losing the most amount of money by far. And you want to make sure that it's the first one. Like, let's make sure we're making the most in the season and not looking back next year, but like, damn it, what happened? But you don't need a perfect plan. You just need a plan. You just need to get to work. A napkin with your target income, your margin, your monthly revenue goals, especially if you tie that to your past seasonality, that'll put you ahead of 90% of home service business owners, contractors out there that I know, that I've worked with, right? When they come to us, the majority of people have no idea about any of this stuff. I am not setting a high bar here, which is actually really good news for you, right? I am setting a pretty low bar, but just get to work. Now, again, everything I walked through today, plus so much more. The reverse engineering formula, seasonal map, the monthly targets by revenue and by profit, like that's all built into the Profit Path workshop. It's 47 bucks. We have sold this tool for thousands of dollars. I am giving it away for $47 because I know the impact that it has on business owners, businesses like yours. Now, this does all the math for you automatically. Plug in your take home, your margins, some seasonality stuff, and it's going to build out your full revenue plan, right? You don't have to go through and figure out, how do I create this spreadsheet? How do I create these formulas? Like, there's no guessing. You just plug in your numbers and it does it right there for you. The link is in the description. And again, I said 47 bucks. If you go through this and it doesn't change your business, if it doesn't give you better optics than you had before, send us an email. I'll refund you. This changes businesses, I promise. But if you don't want to make this investment into your business, like, that's totally cool too. I don't care. Like, I'm not getting rich off $47 selling this to people. I am doing this to help business owners. Just do the math based on what you learned here. This is what makes businesses profitable. But thank you for being here. Thanks for going through this. Thanks for being nerdy. A lot of business owners don't like the numbers, but that's what makes you rich. So thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next one.